For centuries, the presence of the Book of Enoch has seemed unsettling to many. While it never fully disappeared, it was never integrated in the same way as other ancient texts. It remained on the margins, surviving in fragments, cited indirectly, preserved within certain traditions, while ignored or dismissed in others. Why was this the case? Was this obscurity accidental, or is there something more behind it? The official narrative tells us that in the late 18th century, when complete manuscripts were recovered in Ethiopia, the text began to circulate again in the Western world. Until then, what existed were only remnants, scattered references, fragments in Greek, and isolated citations. But suddenly, the full content became available once more, bringing with it a series of descriptions that did not quite align with the way history had been structured. It is important to emphasize that the Book of Enoch does not behave like other texts. It does not follow a linear narrative, nor does it try to build a fully ordered system. Instead, it moves differently, through journeys, observations, and sequences of scenes that unfold without the need for explicit explanation. Throughout its pages, there is a constant sense of movement, a journey that progressively departs from the known lands. As this path unfolds, the landscape undergoes increasingly complex changes. The references become sharper, more precise. What at first may appear to be a vision begins to take the form of territory, of real geography. Mountains, valleys, remote regions, and boundaries begin to emerge. It speaks of extremities, formations, and places where the sky seems to rest upon the earth. For a long time, this type of language was interpreted as an ancient way of describing something symbolic, detached from concrete reality. This interpretation allowed the text to be placed within a familiar category, but it also overlooked something evident: the level of detail in each passage. Enoch describes, insists on directions, movements, transitions between regions, and changes in landscape that suggest clearly defined boundaries. For this reason, it is time to analyze it more deeply, identifying patterns that ancestral knowledge has been pointing toward in recent works. Both Helen Morris and others have begun to outline a path that now appears increasingly clear. This hypothesis gains further strength when the Book of Enoch is compared with other ancient traditions. It is not unique. In distant parts of the world, entirely separate cultures developed perspectives that share common elements, organized regions, domains separated by natural barriers, inaccessible territories, and accounts of journeys toward the edges of the world. These are not isolated coincidences. The issue is that this does not fit within the current model, and when something does not fit, it is often dismissed without thorough examination. As a result, the text was never fully accepted, yet it never disappeared. It remained available, as if an unseen force had preserved it among many other works, waiting to re-emerge. Today, it takes on a renewed significance, a different weight. Perhaps there were indeed hands behind its preservation, preventing its complete disappearance. This book revisits these texts as they are, observing their descriptions without forcing interpretations. and accepting that if there is even the slightest possibility that what is described corresponds to something real, then the Book of Enoch ceases to be just another ancient document and becomes a piece that deserves to be examined with a different level of attention. From there, the essential questions arise. Questions that any seeker might ask. What exactly did Enoch claim to have seen? What path did he describe in detail? Why were his writings preserved so carefully for so long?